A reminder for whoever needs it, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be fully healed in order for you to start going after your big goals and manifestations. I feel like so often we get in our way because we're waiting for the circumstances to be perfect for us to finally get after what it is that we feel called to creating or doing with our lives. And I just want to remind you that it's okay to figure it out as you go, to feel the fear and do it anyway, and to be on the healing journey along the process. Like, there will be multiple layers that will shed off of you as you go down the path. So don't wait for it to be all perfect and figured out, and allow yourself to make mistakes along the way. I was reflecting a lot the last few days because I know I had posted a video about like people sometimes being threatened by your authenticity or being straight up haters on what it is that you're doing. And I received like a few comments back to back within the course of like 2 days about my speaking style and how I speak too fast, or that I make people anxious by watching me, which if I make you anxious, like, please just don't watch, it's fine. And I had to like take a moment to reflect because I do believe that our realities are mirrors. And so there was something that was being held up to me, right? And so I looked at that and I recognized that I did still have a little bit of a subconscious fear around putting myself out there in the way that I have been, and being viewed as illegitimate or a bit of an imposter because of the fact that I am still on this journey with all of you. And I've recognized that that's kind of the benefit. I think that's why I have the community that I do, because you are seeing aspects of yourself reflected through me. And so that's why I think it's so important for us to tap into our authenticity and not try to be something else. Because I remember when I first started putting out content, there was very much a divide between like the real Michelle in day-to-day life and the healer Michelle persona that I was putting out there in the world. It was very soft, it was very tender, it was very calm. And obviously some of the messages that I deliver, they are very sensitive, and so I adjust myself accordingly to the energy that's appearing. But I remember feeling like there was a separation between real Michelle and the mission-driven Michelle. And I didn't like that. And so I started bringing them closer together, and I started showing up differently. I started talking the way that I do to a friend or in my day-to-day life. And obviously the concepts that I share sometimes are, very deeply spiritual, and again, sometimes can really tap into very sensitive topics. But my way of speaking is my way of speaking. And I feel like because I had to go through a lot of unlearning around having to look or be perceived a certain way in the spiritual community or in the healing, like as a healer, those things were coming back up for me to basically make a decision on if I wanted to allow that to affect what I'm doing, or if I wanted to double down on the identity that I've been working towards, which is I can be who I am and still be worthy of my dreams, of having this mission, of helping other people. So I just want to encourage you, like, if you're considering putting out content or doing anything that requires you to put something out there that is yours, your creation, you don't have to wait to have the perfect setup. You don't have to wait to even have a perfect lifestyle. There are people out there who want to see themselves reflected in you, and you are not the only one experiencing what you're experiencing or living in the way that you live. You are inherently worthy of your desires, okay? You don't have to be perfectly healed. Yes, going through the healing journey, recognizing where you might be holding yourself back, all of the trauma and dealing with all of those things is going to assist you in your belief system that you are worthy, but you just are inherently being the way that you are. And so it's okay to be in this healing process as you're going too. When people say that I make them feel anxious, I kind of reflected on the fact that like, well, dang, like I do still have some anxiety that I deal with. I've struggled with depression and anxiety for many moments throughout my life. I have PTSD from a very traumatic childhood that I still sometimes get triggered by. Like, I am by no means a perfect person, and not to mention like the world that we're living in today, like I think all of us have a little bit of anxiety. And so I recognized that it's okay that I feel those things. And obviously it's like when I'm channeling, I try to put my issues aside and not allow that to like impact the message that's being received. But me as a person, like, yeah, I do still feel those things. And I think that's okay. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that more people should be putting themselves out there in a way that feels good for them, that is just natural. Because even when I was like first thinking about how I was going to do readings and how I was going to be a channeler, I would like overthink. I'm like, oh, am I going to be able to communicate this in a way that's going to make sense to other people? Or like, am I going to be able to like read the cards quickly enough so that they can get what they need or whatever? And I just remember very clearly spirit coming through, or my intuition coming through to say, just start talking. Just put up the phone and start talking and watch as it transforms. And that's exactly what I did. And so I've been doing this for coming on like a year and a half or so, and getting more and more comfortable. And babes, like, this is just the beginning. Like, I still have so many other things that I want to do, and so many other things that I want to put out there, that I'm on my way to doing as well. So again, just start doing it. Believe in yourself now, and trust that the answers, the solutions, the resources, all of that is going to come. But you're already worthy of what you desire right here, right now. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Don't find excuses to keep putting it off. Just start and figure it out as you go. I love you.